What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Big Thing. It's Wednesday, and boy, am I excited. I got a buddy of mine on the show, Korey Coleman, you know, from Double Toasted, and I've been such a fan of this dude for a long time, and we can become pals over the last couple of years, and we weren't able to do a show together, at least on our network. I got to be on his very successful Twitch channel many times, but this time he is in my territory, and I'm excited to just be able to shoot the shit with Korey. It's going to be a blast, man. What are we going to talk about? Well, you guys will be excited to know that we don't know. It's going to be a fun conversation, and whatever the hell we want to talk about, we're going to talk about, and I'm sure it'll go a lot of different places. It's Korey Coleman. It's the Big Thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this shit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Big Thing. I'm Kristian Harloff. And what an absolute fun week it has been. And hell, this Friday we got a big day coming out for Star Wars fans, for Marvel fans, for everybody. You got the Disney Plus day. Going to show the Obi-Wan trailer. Going to show it Andor, behind the scenes. Who knows what the hell they're going to show. But it's going to be a lot of shit. We're going to be talking about it. But today, lots of other things to talk about, because there he is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Korey Coleman. What up, dude?
What's going on, man?
How are you?
Man, I'm great now that I'm here.
Yeah, we missed each other the last time you were here. You scared my wife last time you were here. I remember that. Remember you rang the doorbell and
I have a story about that today.
Please? You did it again?
I created another one.
What'd you do today?
Look, man, I did what I was supposed to do, and still messed up, man.
Was she in the back this time?
Is this the camera right here?
Yeah, that's yours.
So y'all, first time I came here, I don't know where to go, and I go up to the front door. I go to his house, and big black man walking up in the middle of this neighborhood. This white woman's up there with a little baby, and she sees me walking up, and she stopped and she just looked, and she asked me through the window. She says, "Can I help you?" You know that Karen kind of. Can I help you?
Was she Karen and my wife?
No, your wife's not a Karen, but Karen, but that kind of Karen scariness.
Yo, okay.
Can I help you?
She does. To be fair, she should do that to a big, tall, redheaded white guy if it came over, because she just doesn't like when people come to the front porch if she doesn't know them.
Man, she's a mother. She should do that to everybody.
Right.
So I'm not making it a black thing. I'm sure the blackness didn't help. It's probably a little extra.
It added to the situation.
Yeah. But I said, all right, well, next time I come over, I know to just not go to the house.
Right. Go around the side.
Kristian, I went around the side, and I start rattling the door, and the first thing I hear, "Can I help you?"
I planted her there this time. I said, you know what? I know Korey's going to be here at 11:30. Do me a favor. Stand right there and wait for him. And I want you to, this time you scare him before you even see it. Oh, my God. That's amazing.
She scares me, man.
Yeah. And she scares me, too.
And it didn't help that, because I thought, well, since you told me to go around the side and you knew I was coming, you left it open.
Yeah.
So you really did sabotage me, because I go over there and it's locked. So I'm just.
She locked it because she was probably doing, she just went to the grocery store. So she was probably on the side there.
Okay.
And she had just put everything back in there, and I had left it open for you, but when she came through, she probably shut it again. So I think it's got to be a thing that happens every time you're on the show now.
Yeah. Next time I'm coming through the chimney or something.
You should. And next time next time I'll just put the 4-year-old there. Although the 4-year-old will probably be like, "What's up?"
Black Santa, Daddy. Next time I'm just climbing through the bathroom window, man.
That's it.
Is Kristian here?
You might as well. You'd be like, "You know me." Well, that's great. I'm
she
actually
had a great sense of humor about it, though.
She's got a great sense of humor. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have been able to survive. Because she's great. She does a lot, obviously, for me, and I'm very happy that it happened, because now it's a new thing that I think it has to happen every time you're on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Where will I strike next?
That's right. You just have, next time Martin should be on it, he should like boost you over the fence, and you just kind of fall down. You're like, "Hey, it's me." She did, Korey.
I'll tell you though, I don't fear for your safety, man.
No,
not with her around.
No way.
No, she's
Pitbull.
No, she's ready to beat. She's ready to beat somebody's ass, man.
And you know what it is about her that I really even love more? So there was I won't go into the full drama of it, but I have a 10-year-old, so 10-year-old girl. So when she gets into girls being girls and just drama at school, My wife got involved in a situation recently. Me, like, I fear I'd be one of the Sopranos on the side of the soccer field, like, "Hey, ref, what are you doing?" You know, screaming. My wife's very calm and diplomatic, but she's like that parent that, like, when she doesn't get involved, but when she does, it's like, oh shit, because she'll handle things diplomatic, and she'll be like, and she's talking to a 10-year-old. No. What you said to her was this, and maybe that's not the best way to do it, and the 10-year-old starts rethinking their life. And yeah, and that's what she's got, like that real, like, kind of, she's got her head on her shoulders. Meanwhile, you know, it's like, I don't mind the screaming guy in the Star Wars shirt. He's done that before and got himself in trouble on Collider. So that's
your wife is she's the cold, scary mob person, man.
Yeah, right. She is. She's just like, it's like you send me out to do the hit. She executes. She orders the hit.
Exactly. She's the one that tells you that you messed up.
That's it.
But she tells you in a really cool way.
It's very true. Just, can I help you?
Yeah. That's how she did. And she did not panic. She didn't scream. She actually put that, "Can I help you?" And that's what scared me.
It's the name of her book. It's called "Can I Help You?" No matter what, if it's me, it's the kids, it's you. It's "Can I Help You?" So what's up, man? So what have you been up to? Why are you in town? Are you doing a show?
Yeah, we're doing a show. Doing a show tonight. Doing a show first time in Inglewood.
Oh, okay.
How's Inglewood?
You know what? I used to go. My buddy lived there for a while. Yeah. Always had a great time there. Like, obviously, you always think about, like, the movies and everything from back in the day. I always had pleasant experiences in Inglewood. Love Inglewood. But where are you doing the show? Where?
It's a place called the Miracle Theater.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do a show tonight at the Miracle Theater. By the way, this is a great warm up being here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, usually I used to book shows myself, live shows here, and then we have a booking agency now, so that's great. They just threw us in Inglewood, and I thought that's kind of far.
Yeah, no, it's a good spot too. But I messed up. So you guys did a show in New York.
Yeah.
So our reigning movie trivia Schmoedown champion, right? Lady named Marisol McKee. She's the first African American to ever win the singles championship, and she did it this year. She's a massive fan of Double Toasted.
And she's in New York?
She's in Philadelphia. But right before she won the championship, the night before, she didn't come out the night before because she went to your show. And she went, so her and Adam Collins, who is also one of our competitors, they were like, we're going to the Double Toasted show. They're like massive fans. And I was like, let me reach out to Korey and Martin, and I'll tell them they'll come out, probably meet you and say hello to you too. And I just didn't get a chance to do it.
Well, I'm sure we said hello anyway.
I'm sure you did, but you know, if I would have told you, hey, my friends are coming by, you know, it's like one of those things.
Oh yeah, we would have bought them drinks and food.
Right,
oh yeah, exactly, man.
Right. So, but they like, and I understood why. They're like, I'm massive fans. The show was great. They raved about the show. Did
they have a good time?
They had a great time. They loved it.
Oh, great then, man. Yeah, no, that's good. That was our first show since the pandemic, so I didn't know how that was. You know,
Sam, we did a show in Brooklyn in October, which was our first show.
How did that go?
Went great. Marisol, who I just mentioned, was headlined the event, and she held the championship up, and it was phenomenal. It was really great. But all right, so you're in town. You're doing the show in Inglewood. You're doing one show while you're here.
Yeah, just one show right now. Yeah. This is our first time doing an actual tour.
That's cool.
You know, shows after shows, like we do back to back in Florida and whatnot. In 2 weeks we'll be in Chicago. So
it's great, man.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's the first time, so I don't know how successful it will be. You know, we usually do scattered shows throughout the year, so we can like really push. Do a big marketing push for one city. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of fun and scary at the same time.
It is.
But we just love being out there.
It is because we're entertainers first and foremost, right? So that's the thing. We just want to make people laugh. We want to get the kind of our opinions out there. Plus, for you guys have just such a great chemistry. Is it just you and Martin doing the shows?
I bring out a third person, and then my wife, she's in it. You know.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
She made sure to tell me I'm in the show.
So is the show basically what you guys do on Twitch?
Yeah, it's more of a comedy show this time.
Great.
Like it is. It's more of a comedy show with media that we bring with this.
I got to come watch it, man.
Well, I got to. So you guys are going to be doing a show pretty soon, right?
December 4th, we're going to be downtown LA. We're doing like our big WrestleMania at the end of the year, and it's like, dude, we found out, and I'm the wrong person to tell this. The theater wrote in and said, hey, if you guys want for special effects, we have rockets. They shoot rockets up for one of the competitors. I was like, rockets. And the producer's like, do we have to use this? Like, You should have shadowed that first before it got to me, because the second I hear we got rockets, fog machines, wrestlers coming out and doing things, it's gonna be massive.
You'd be stupid to turn down rockets, man.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I mean, just don't white snake the place and burn it down.
And even if you do, it's press.
Yeah, exactly, man. Hey, as long as you come out alive, it's okay.
That's it. Hey, we made it. We burned the place down, but hey, you've heard of the schmo now.
As long as you rise from the charred rubble, man.
That's right. Well,
congratulations on that, man.
Yeah, we're excited for it. So that's downtown. That's LA. That's December 4th. But you guys are you're in Inglewood today, which is going to be, what is it, Saturday? Today?
Today's
Friday, right?
Yeah.
Well, so you've already done the show when this airs.
Yeah.
So right. So all right. So this is, you just did a show here as far, and so where are you next after this end of the tour again? I'm sorry, you're going to Chicago?
Going to Chicago in a couple of weeks, November 18th.
Okay.
Be in Florida, January, and doing back-to-back there, Miami, and in Orlando, and then rounding things off in Texas. I'm going to be in Dallas on February 18th.
We might be in the area at the same time.
Which, in Dallas?
Yeah, we're doing Dallas, and then we're gonna do Houston back to back in February, I think.
Man, well, you know what? If there's any way our paths can cross,
we should do it.
Yeah. I want everybody to know that I'm so giddy to be here. This is one of the guys that I would see all the time on the internet, and never thought that he would see me worthy enough to be on his show.
It's so funny you say that, because I felt the same exact way. Because when we started doing YouTube. There was only like a few people out there, and Spill was like one of the big ones, right? And so I remember always going, "Oh man, I gotta try to meet these guys." And I met you once at a Comic-Con, and now knowing you were just kind of busy and doing stuff. So I was like, "Oh, he didn't really want to be talking to me." And I know that it wasn't the case, but it just, when you put things into your own head, and you're walking, and then after work, I don't even remember the first time we kind of started working together. I think there was, whatever it might be, we started working together like at Collider, you guys came in to do the Schmodown. And
exactly. Yeah. I think that was it, man.
We came in
to do the Schmodown, which we were just honored to be there. I could have swore we were going to lose. And that was just pure luck, because we're terrible at trivia, as shown when we came to Houston. So
it's fun, but you had fun every single time.
Oh, it's all about it's just fun to be there, man. It's just an honor for us to be there and having you having us on.
Well, same, man. And I think that's funny is that even though that match you guys feel you didn't do very well in that one, I feel that's where we became closer, because we hung out at the bar, we had some drinks afterwards, and we just had bullshit. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to talk to you, but I didn't want to be one of those people that, while you're trying to like talk to your people and your fans and whatnot. I didn't want to bother you, but I thought it was real cool that you came over and said, "Hey, let's just sit down and have a drink real quick."
Yeah, man. Like I said, I've been a massive fan of you guys for a long time. I think you guys are a riot, and it's just so fun to listen to you both, because it's reminiscent to both myself and Mark, like when we started, right? It's just like two buddies talking, and you're able to be yourself, and you've got such a good wit, know how to maneuver when you're talking to your friends, and his sense of humor. He knows yours. He knows how to set you up. You know how to set you up, and it's just this. If you haven't checked out Double Toasted, you really should. It's such a great, fun show, and these guys just they don't give a shit. That's just my favorite. Yeah, really don't.
We probably should at some point about some things, at least a couple of things.
When I say you don't give a shit, I'm talking about you don't care what people think. You know what I mean?
Oh no, completely.
That's what I'm saying. Like you care about what you're talking about. You just don't. It's like you go with what you're feeling and how you're feeling, and that's, I think, to me, that's the kind of raw, honest thing. I think sometimes people get too consumed, especially today, man, with how the world is. They get too consumed about who's going to like what, who's going to say this, who's going to care if I say this, who's going to tweet about me if I say that. It's a different time, man.
It really, I mean, I didn't care that much before, but everybody says that. But you always find that one asshole that just, you read a comment, and you're like, I'm going to tell this motherfucker.
Because they're the loudest.
Because they're the loudest. Because they're the loudest, and they say the dumbest things. And sometimes you just feel like, I gotta tell them something because this is so stupid. I gotta set them straight.
And you feel like you didn't know sometimes, though, too. Because what does it do? Because usually those people, Korey, they're really stupid.
And that's what it is. People. But I was telling people this on our show recently. I said, it was only until probably about 3 weeks ago that I really understood, like, man, I really don't give a shit with people who I don't know what they think, because it's not because of all of a sudden I had some big revelation. I was reading about that couch guy situation. You remember this?
No, what's this? Tell me.
So it was this couple, man, on it was a TikTok video, I think.
And the guy can't, he thought his girlfriend was or he thought she was fooling around with somebody else or something. Is that what
of course, everybody wants to be a detective now online. So,
right.
so the guy got up, and I guess he had his reaction to his girlfriend being in there, and he was very just kind of quiet. And he's like, "Oh my God, good to see you."
Yeah.
But then, of course, the online sleuths said, "Oh, but wait a minute, here's a clue. He just dropped his phone all of a sudden. Oh, wait a minute, he's sitting on the couch with two girls, and where were his hands?" And, this couple that were just trying to have a nice moment online, all of a sudden it turned into, girl, that motherfucker's cheating.
Right.
And they wouldn't leave them alone. And these people were like, wow, we everything is fine with us. We're cool. No need for anybody to keep going in. And people are like, no, but hold on. We need to really convince her to leave him. And, and so it occurred to me like, and now they were saying, we just want to be left alone. These people, and I thought, none of these people, if you love each other, none of this should mean shit to you at all.
Right.
And I just saw how these people were trying to destroy this couple, and in a way they were inside really hurting them. And I just thought, like, I can't let that happen to me.
Right.
I can't let people I know just kind of just drive me to like just be insecure about myself. True. So it was so there you go.
It was kind of like an eye-opening thing for sure. I mean, it always goes back to, like, I talk about this with my dad, right? He always used to tell me, he's like, it's this human nature thing where people, even if they don't realize it, they want you to fail. Yes. Like, they want you to fail, and they want you to succeed, and then they want you to fail. It's human nature, right? We always want to see the people. It's always about the big story. Oh, they made it. And then once they make it, it's like, when are they going to fall? And then they fall. When are they going to come back? It's like, it happens. It's just human nature, right? Think about, like, when Tyson was on the top of his game. Everyone's like, Tyson. He's going to. And then when Buster Douglas beat him, everyone's like, see, he had it coming. Mike wasn't paying attention. And Mike comes back out of prison. Everyone's like, oh, shit, Mike's back. And then Mike, it's like, it's the same shit and you got to make people realize, you think you do, but you don't, that people on the other side of that computer, television are human beings. But they don't see that. They see the guy on the couch, and they see the girl, and all they see is a TikTok video, and they don't see people.
No, you're exactly right. And it's funny because I think people, they just need something to constantly root for.
Right.
So even if it's against you, so, when you're down, they're like, we want you to come up.
Right.
Well, he made it. I ain't got, what do I have now? I got nothing to root for anymore. Oh, I know. I want you to fail because I need something to root for now.
It's crazy how it's built like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I get it. It's just human nature. There always has to be something there for people to, like, kind of grasp onto. Let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
So, has there been a person that has just been very vocal, and just been very visible about them wanting you to fail?
Sure. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, there's been, I think, various times there have been people that, but it's, there's one, like you said, there's always people that start to stand out because you see their name a lot, you see their handle a lot. But what I've done recently, especially on this channel, and I don't know if it's just because it's the dad in me and I'm just getting, or to quote Danny Glover, getting too old for this shit, right? And it's like I'm sitting around reading some of this stuff, and when it comes in now, because I respond to every comment that comes in now, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to take this channel and kind of go back to when we first started doing YouTube back in like 2007, 2008, right? Yeah. And back then, it was really about community. And it was really about getting people involved, having the people involved, and making them feel like, because the whole allure of YouTube was, this isn't normal television. Like, on television, you turn on, you watch a show that you like, so-and-so ain't going to respond back to you. They don't know you're there.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, they know you're there, and they're talking to you, and people liked that. And somewhere along the way, that got lost. Right. And I think some people did it. Some people didn't do it. We certainly, it became a thing where, like, okay, we'll respond whenever. And Schmoes, when we started, that's all we did.
Yeah. So
I'm like, well, my idea, my thought is then, for those comments of people that, like you said, when people are coming in and saying those types of things, back when whether it's Collider or Schmoes, it would register in my head, and I would see it, and I'd be like, oh, it's that guy, it's this, and it's that. And people are like, well, my brother passed away, right? I got people, there's one particular guy that made like 15 different counts of my brother's name and like really like horrific things, and made accounts of it and did like all these things and would send me stuff from those accounts, right?
Why?
People, look, the other part of that, to go off of that, the other part of that is, I don't know, not that I condone anything of this, that what this person did, but I don't know how sad of a life that person has.
Exactly.
I don't know I don't know if that person's been abused. I don't know if that person has had like really rough things in their life. I don't know if that person, almost like whatever might have happened to them. So as angry as it can get you, there's another part of your brain that goes, I don't know what's going on there. Like, and only the only thing that I can do there, there was one time that there was someone that kind of came after a few of us at Collider, and we put a detective on them, and they shut it down quick. They brought them to jail.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. And then
anybody I know?
No.
Okay.
No one you know. No. But no, it was someone in a different place. But then again, I don't know what this person was going through. I don't know. So I stopped them when this channel started, because I would get, when I was on Schmoes and when I was on Collider, the comedian in me, when I used to be on stage at the Comedy Store, someone heckles out and says something, and I would go, you know what, bah, 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 and I would get the audience to laugh with me, and that crowd, which in my head at the time was a large crowd of 100, 200 people, they're all on the same page. They're laughing along, playing with it. But if I yell and scream and go after somebody in that comedic, not everybody sees it as comedic. Someone else sees it as whatever it might be. And then I also find myself going after voices that you can't connect to. And I'm doing the same thing that they're doing. I'm yelling at a voice behind a computer.
Exactly.
As opposed to someone who's in front of me, that if you comment at my show, at a comedy show, we can have a fun interaction and we can play.
Yeah.
So what I've done now on this channel is I respond to people, and the conversations have been pleasant, even when they don't. We're doing like rewatch series of like Spiderman and Star Wars, and we've been having these back and forths, and conversations have been pleasant. And if somebody comes in to do like, stupid shit, you just hide them from the channel. You don't respond to them, because it's like I would rather lose somebody. And if you're a subscriber, then I lost you. But I don't have time for it.
No, exactly, man. I've learned how to actually take that kind of stuff in stride and actually have fun with it. We do Twitch now, and we still do YouTube, of course, and some other platforms. But Twitch is a totally different thing where you can do this on YouTube also. Yeah. We just stream live on Twitch, and the comments are there for people to see. Yeah. Just like a lot of people, we've been hate rated, which I ignored. But then sometimes, you know what? If you're gonna be a troll, I admire you if you're creative.
If you're creative, right? If you're making me laugh.
Somebody put up. Somebody took the comment section, and as it scrolled up, it was, and they did this with characters and letters. They formed a huge dick, and I was like, and I stopped, and everybody was like, don't say anything about that. I was like, well, we can't show this, of course, but I'm like, damn, that's pretty good, man. Right. There was even a swastika that came up, and I was like, that's amazing, the spacing and the accuracy.
The way that you could do it.
I was like that. I'm not condoning this, but I kind of admire this in a way.
Right, on how, and you're saying because you're putting together the effort. Like sometimes, I can't remember what someone wrote recently, and they wrote something about, the reaction. I did a reaction to, because I'm not like the Real Rejects, and I'm not like, these guys that, or Tyrone Magnus guys who react into videos. Like they've been doing this shit for a long time. Yeah. If something comes out that I really want to see, I put on the camera and I watch the thing, and then I get my thoughts and I analyze it, right? So most part, people seem to be enjoying it. There was one guy, I did the Boba Fett one, and I was a couple different times. I'm going, all right, there you go. And I did it. And some guy goes, boring fucking reaction. Laughed my ass off. I thought it was hysterical. I was like, isn't that what reaction is? I'm like, what do you want me to go? Hey!
Yeah.
Whoa! Hey!
You son of a bitch! Yeah, I'm not boring. I'm exciting.
Right, but even watching the trailer, it's like you're sitting there and you start watching, like, oh here we go, guys. I'm reacting to the Clifford the Big Red Dog trailer. Here we go. Oh, he's red. Yeah, he's still red. Oh, look at this. He's big, huge. Yeah. Whoa! It's like I don't do that. It's just not what I do.
I don't do that either. In fact, I wait a day later after everybody's done it, and then we put up a video. It's not the best timing all the time. If we can hit it that day, that's fine. But I'm like you. I like
stuff you like.
I like analyzing, and I like writing humor behind it.
Yes.
So, but I like having a good balance of like, all right, let's talk about this seriously, but there's jokes here, and I really would like to think about those jokes before I just kind of get on there and just start running my mouth.
Yeah.
It might be because I can think on my feet pretty well, but I look at some people who do reactions, and because I don't want to seem like I'm disrespecting these people. I look at these people, I'm like, damn, they can really think on their feet at this moment, and they're very good at that. I don't think I'm the best at like looking at something at the moment and just popping them off.
You want to let it sit for a little bit. Marinate.
Yeah. So much respect to those people out there that do that. But yeah, man, I get it. I have to admit, I do cuss people out in our chat sometimes. But it's not like I'm doing it because I'm angry at we have this
You're
kind
going
of
for the laugh.
Well, we're going for the laugh, and plus we kind of have a community where I tell people, hey, look, I don't consider you guys like fans or anything. Like this is a community. We're all friends here.
Yeah.
And some people even like to use the word family. And if you have a good friend or if you have a family member, you're not gonna go forever without arguing with them.
That's right.
Or yelling at them.
That's right.
So there's people who they don't go away. They don't unsubscribe and go in a huff and a puff. They're like, all right, we argued.
Yeah.
You cussed me out, I cussed you out. And afterwards, we're like, all right, we're cool, man. We got that out of our system. Fine.
Isn't it a matter of how we do it too, right? It's a matter of because like you said, if you know someone that has been around for a bit inside of the community and you're like, man, you're being a stupid ass. And it's like, here's why, blah, blah, and you have exactly what you're saying. It's like with the cameras off and just a buddy of yours, like how many times you got into an argument with a buddy of yours and then be like, all right, let's kick back, let's figure it out and let's move on. But it's just a matter of what is said and how it's said and presentation. Like the other thing, we just did the Last Jedi rewatch, right? So you know how divisive that movie's been, right? So Riley came on. Riley loves that movie. It to me gets worse and worse every time I watch the fucking thing. And so we started talking about it, but it was just he was saying the same thing. He's like, I don't agree with anything you're saying. I said, I don't agree with anything you're saying. But we just had a great conversation about it. Yeah. He gave his points, I gave mine, and I think you can have conversations with people without throwing rocks at them. And that's what Twitter does, man. Twitter is just throwing rocks.
Oh, that's definitely. I don't get on arguments on Twitter with people
smart.
Anymore.
Smart. Same with me.
I try to put out positive things. Hey, look at this cat or something. When I'm out there. So
that's a big pussy.
Now you get it. There
Right.
you go. Let's all have a good laugh, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm learning. It's funny because as much as I might just get into like these little fun arguments with people online, I have learned to be a little more, I don't know what the word is, tolerant or learning how to handle disagreements better. Because I don't know. Again, it just dawned on me one day. I was like, man, these are movies.
Right.
I was like, I'm not. What was it that I was talking to Martin about something? I said, we disagreed on. We disagreed on something, man. I think it might have been the movie Cats or something.
Cats? Who liked Cats?
Well, what happened was Martin one day So when we did the review for Cats, Martin has a way where when something he feels like is being attacked, he wants to defend.
Right.
So Cats is being attacked, and he's like, it's not so bad. Cats is fine.
He's the only person who's ever defended Cats.
And then he did it the day of the week the movie's coming out. He's like, these cats, why people they look fine. They're not scary. If you just open your mind, you can get used to it. And then I was like, well, that's cool, man. I was like, I'm not gonna fight with you over fucking cats, all right?
I wish you would have.
Yeah, I'm not like, man, maybe that was the one I should have.
So when you should have. Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Martin, wake up!
Judy Dench! Why is Judy Dench doing this?
But it was funny because about 3 months later, out of the blue, I was like, well, yeah, Martin, I learned how to. I brought this up again. I was like, I learned how to be more tolerant, acceptable of other people's opinions. Like, maybe I wasn't as crazy about cats as you were. And he was like, I fucking hate cats. Cats? And I said, are you out your damn mind? Is dementia kicking in or are you schizophrenic? Because I said, because he gave the movie, like, we have a rating system, y'all. We have Better Than Sex, full price, matinee, rental, and some more bullshit. But anyway, so he rated it like, he said, I would say that this is a matinee. It's not so bad. And then when I talked to him again, I was like, so do you even remember what you gave this? Man, fuck that movie, man. That's what I gave it. I was like, somebody had to play the clip again to show him.
What did he say when he saw the clip?
He's like, I don't think that's me. You deep faked that, didn't you?
It's a yeah. See that? So does he do the contrarian thing sometimes?
Yeah. So, whenever something's like Battlefield Earth when it came out, that's a big joke with us. Like Battlefield Earth, because he'll admit now, he's like, well, man, at the time, I saw with this guy and he was just talking about how terrible it was, and I was just, and instead of saying, fuck this movie, he was like, yeah, and this guy was just going off in this movie. And I'm like, to hell with this guy. Yeah. What does he think he is?
Battlefield Earth was so bad. I saw with a friend. I punched my friend. He apologized. Sorry about that. I was like, it's okay.
And not to talk bad about Martin. It was no. I'm not even making. I'm just saying, like, today, where there was a time, like and I'm telling you about this myself. There was a time I would probably disagree with Martin.
Yeah.
And I would play it up for the show.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
like what you like that?
That's
shit?
the
You're
bit.
stupid. You're crazy. And now today I kind of pull back and I'm just kind of like, there's other ways to get a laugh. There's other ways to entertain. I say, and I actually like the disagreements. Cause I'm like,
Sure.
hey man, you know, when you disagree on something, I say, hey, everybody likes what they like.
Right.
You know, even if it's a movie that the 90% of the public thinks is terrible, if you like it, they're movies. It's all about
right.
opinion. You
That's
know?
right. That's honestly what we talked about for a great length for that Last Jedi thing. It's just like I just don't understand why, and I think it has a lot to do with what's going on in the world in general, how like volatile the world is just in general, right? Like because no matter what it is, people want to yell and scream at each other, and the social media has not helped at all because it's very similar to what you and I are talking about, that you're not really attached to human interaction.
Yeah.
You don't see anybody and you're just screaming out. You feel like you can say things to people that if you said it to them in person, you get slapped in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. And so, and movies just has become one of those things. And we equated Last Jedi to like being either a hardcore Republican or being a hardcore liberal, right? And it's like this because you're not going to convince someone else on either side of this argument that your take is the right take. No matter how much you think it's the right take, you're not going to convince them because they're so sold on it, and everyone inside of their same pocket is. Yet we have to be the ones that are right, or we have to tell you why you're wrong. And if you're not on our side, then you're the enemy, and we're going to tell you exactly why. And we're not going to do it in the right way. We're going to take a picture of my balls and send it to you and tell you exactly why you're wrong.
No, you know what? I'll hold that thought right there.
Yeah.
I want to continue on that thought. I just want to let you know that I want to talk Star Wars with you.
Yeah, please, let's do it.
But before we do that, you know, I completely agree with you when you talk about hardcore Republicans and hardcore liberals and whatnot. That's one of the things that kind of made me realize movies. I don't need to go that crazy about them, man, because there's a lot of other stuff to like worry about. And even when those things come around, I'm like, you know what? I didn't react like I thought I was going to react.
Yeah.
I said on our shows, you know, when Trump was in and you know things were going well, they're still going crazy. But I would tell people, you know, if I run into a Trump supporter, I'm gonna let them know how I feel about things.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I remember I went and got my vaccination shot, and I went straight to a bar right after that.
Yeah, of course.
And it was in this small town where across the street from the vaccination place, there's Trump flags and everything. It's a Trump-loving place.
Right.
I go to this bar, and bar is full of Trump supporters, but we get to talking. Of course, look, I don't talk politics. There's something about a Trump supporter. They want to let you know exactly where they're from. It's almost like I thought they want to start an argument, but we start talking. They start buying me drinks.
Yeah.
We talked about whatever we had to talk about, and we didn't get into a fight. We disagreed. Nobody went crazy.
Right.
Everybody actually respected each other. They got me a little drunk. And at first I thought they were going to do the
Throw you in a
I thought they were trying to lynch my ass at first, you know. You know, they're going to lynch me with alcohol.
Can I help you?
Yeah, exactly. I was waiting for that to happen. Can I help you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know them. Yeah, these people are much more agreeable with whiskey.
Yeah.
So, you know. So yeah, man, you know, I thought that, wow, you know something, none of us probably walked away 100% being turned over to the other side.
Right.
But I was like, man, you know, if you get some people a little alcohol and have them sit down and have them actually put them in an environment where everything is cool and everybody has mutual respect, I've learned that, man, and a lot of people are not going to like this answer, but I learned to actually respect these people. I don't agree with them. Sometimes I think they're harmfully wrong.
Right. But Korey, it's exactly what you're saying though, dude. You had actual interaction with people. Like you were talking to people face to face.
Human beings, man.
That's the thing that I don't think, and I say it all the time. The people who watch these shows are sick of hearing me. I think social media has been the downfall of us completely because of that detachment from. Because if you can say something, because the thing is, if I say something very hateful to you right now, something that's to the core, I'll see your reaction to that, and you would hope that a lot of people, that if I saw the reaction of the hurt that I caused you, I would feel bad. Yeah. If I said it to you on Twitter, I don't see how you react to it. In my head, man, maybe you just laughed it off. Maybe it made you devastatingly sad, and it ruined your day for the whole day, but I don't see it, so I'm detached from it. And that's what social media is. And that's why all this stuff like that continues to happen. Like, same with you. On Twitter, I'll tweet a few things of like maybe happy birthday to a friend, whatever, tweet out where we're going to be. I use it for social media, like for promotion, right? I don't get into that stuff anymore, man. Like when people are talking about like arguing about movies and things, and that same philosophy, tweets out about, here's a perfect example. So when the Snyder Cut was happening back when I was on Collider, someone had asked me about it, and I was so tired of hearing about all this stuff, and I don't care. Oh my God, the Snyderverse like really made me hear it because I said I don't care. Then when I started SEN, before there was even mention of they're actually doing it, I said, I actually would really want to see the Snyder Cut. I said, I think that it would make a lot of sense to do it. I think you should. And I have, from when I first started SEN, I said how much I really wanted to see it. But once it started coming out, I was like, oh, you're one of the ones who never thought it was going to happen. I'm like, that's not true. And then part two is when I finally saw it, I was like, I don't know if you liked it or not.
I liked it.
I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. But then there's still people today who tweet things and go like, oh, the Snyderverse should happen. And I'm like, I agree. Yeah. I'm like, you're not talking to someone who doesn't want it. But we base these things on how we like, and whether it's inside of our own media that's happening, the film sphere, whatever the fuck they call it, the movie sphere, with stupid bullshit film Twitter. Everyone has to have a name for everything.
That's part of the problem too.
It drives me nuts. Everybody has to have a name. We're film Twitter. It's like, no, you're a bunch of fucks who watch movies like me.
Yeah. You know what? Whether you believe it or not, you're just another gang.
You're a gang that watches movies, and you're like, and that's why the thing is too. I brought this up. When you and I don't know how, if you feel, and I don't mean to offend you if you feel this way, but I feel like you're going to be on my side. I don't believe you and I go see a movie. I don't think that we're critics. I think we're dudes who watch movies.
I don't like that word critic.
We're not critics. William Bibiani's a guy that we work with. He's a professional film critic. He analyzes it. He says it like you said, when you sit back and you write your jokes and you think that's what he does. I talk about movies and I'll just review a movie. And some people, that's what the definition of a critic is. I mean, I guess, but I'm not a critic. Like, I'm just the definition of what a critic is. But everybody who reviews movies thinks they're a critic. Everyone who's on Twitter thinks that they know so much about their film experts. It's a fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an entertainer, man.
That's it.
Because I'm not here to convince anybody.
Right.
Honestly, I never was. I I played that role because I thought people wanted to hear that.
Right.
But I'm not here to convince anybody. I hate it. I hate it when people actually, when they feel that way, when they say, you know what, I don't do anything until you say that. I was like, don't do that, man.
Yeah, I respect that you like what I'm saying about things, but
it's flattering.
Yeah, but make your own thoughts and have some fun.
I would hate for somebody to miss something that they possibly would like,
right? Because
they were listening to my crazy ass telling them and giving my opinion.
That's great that you say that, because I just thought about this recently. My mother-in-law, who likes all this goofy shit, right? But she likes a lot of stuff that's good too. But what was the show? Oh, Succession, which is a great show that everyone loves.
It keeps coming up, man. I got to watch this.
I haven't seen it yet either, but everyone loves this show, right? Yeah. I watched the first 2 episodes, loved it, thought it was really detailed. My wife gets bored with everything, right? She gets bored with everything.
That's my wife.
Yeah, she's bored with everything. So she tells my mother-in-law, don't watch it. It's boring. And I'm going, this is perfect for her. She should make the decision on herself and watch it. But she listened to my wife and never watched it. And I was like, I know she's going to like this. She likes this kind of shit. So, but it's funny you say that, because there are people, like, I wonder, like, how maybe there's a movie, because think about certain movies in your life that movies are very influential. We say they're just movies, but there's portions of movies and memories we've had with people that we've seen movies that have influenced our lives, and ideas have formed, creative ideas and things and emotions that we've had. Imagine one of those most emotional moments that you've ever had in your life about a movie. You didn't see it because someone told you not to see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think of something where I saw it later and I thought, man, I'm glad I saw this.
Yeah.
Because if I hadn't, then I would have missed out on something I really enjoy. I'm trying to think, because there are movies that I like that a lot of people hate. A lot of people. Sure. And I'm just glad I just never listened to those. I'll tell you one movie I really like. Give an example.
What you got?
It's a terrible movie. Some people haven't even heard of it. But I had to actually, this is where I said, do I need to listen to people, or do I actually really enjoy this? The Beatles made a movie called Magical Mystery Tour.
Okay.
It's a terrible movie.
But
No, it is.
But
It's a terrible
it.
movie.
Yeah.
But for a long time, I said, should I be that person that said it's the Beatles and Beatles fans know if they say it's terrible, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But at this moment, should I openly admit I'd like this? And so that was one of the big barometers where I was like, all right, that's one of the tests where I said, okay, I'm going to openly say I like something where people just hate this overall.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned that, like,
was there a big backlash for that one?
No, nobody cares about that. No.
I was going to say.
But there are certain circles where people will tell you, like, if they know the movie, they're just like, oh, you like that?
Right.
So, no, but no. And you know what? Maybe that's a safe one because nobody cares about that.
But still, I know what you're saying, though.
Well, recently, maybe the one that I like that a lot of people are really jumping down on is, and you're probably one of those people that don't like it either. I liked Eternals.
I loved Eternals.
Did you see? Okay,
Loved it. We're on a you and Koy Jandreau are on a small island. We're on that island with Luke in Last Jedi right now because I thought what Chloe Zhao did with that film, beautiful. People said it was formulaic. I thought it was the most different Marvel film. That's why I liked it. And it's funny because I had seen Dune, I think, a couple weeks later, which they're similar. They're similar as far as the scale of it and the direction of it and the overall, like the long shots, the music. I loved Eternals. We actually have our spoiler where we just released our spoiler review this past Monday when this comes up.
Yeah, we might do one when I get back into town on Sunday. But I really like that movie, man. I know there's a lot of people who just don't like that film, and you know, but and again, that was one where I started to get into defensive mode at first.
Right.
And I was just like, and I said, hold on. You know, I can understand. And if I really look closely, I'd see what people are not liking.
Sure.
You know, I'm not at this point where just like, well, y'all just want to complain about something, and you just think this is woke, and you want to complain about that. And there are some people who are.
But I ignore that shit now because the problem is now with that is that that's what people say about everything now. And it's like, do I think sometimes, and I'd love to get to this conversation with you as well, is I think that sometimes the problem is I think that sometimes I think studios and I think that people, when there's a movement that should be happening, they go, oh, well, let's capitalize on that and let's put so-and-so in the movie so we don't get in trouble and we do that.
Yeah.
I think people do that. And I think that's a wrong, because it's not genuine, and I think people can see it. And I think that when they do that, it can hurt the product. But you can't call that on everything. You can't say that on everything when it happens. Like when Chloe Zhao is doing, she's a brilliant filmmaker who has done things. And if that's the story she wants to tell, she has earned the right to do it. And I don't see it inside of that story. And I think that that's what people like the Masters of the Universe thing. People called it out. People say that it's always because it's politics. It's where the world is today. You can't separate your entertainment because politics has to seep into it. That's just what happens.
No, I certainly agree. There are certain things that just people lay down just to, you know, they're just generalized terms that people use to just more or less attack instead of getting into a discussion about. You know, it happened with a lot of things. You know, most recently with the Dave Chappelle thing.
Right.
You know. Woke is what you call something when it just means you just don't agree with it, you don't like it. You know, cancel culture. Cancel culture is something that you throw down, and there's a lot of things that come with cancel culture. You disagree. Cancel culture is something you yell to avoid. Sometimes accountability.
Right.
You know, you just it's a way to just say that you know, you throw down the word cancel culture or the words cancel culture sometimes to avoid, I just had it in my head while I was saying here, the word I was looking for. Consequence.
Sure.
You know, it's like instead of, you know, when you say certain things, I myself, I don't want to, I even hate using these words, I don't want to counsel anybody unless you just really do something completely just vile and stupid. I don't want to see anybody fail. Right. I think, people have a right to say what they want to say, but, you know, we're losing sight of the fact that there are consequences to things.
It's true, but I think it's a slippery slope on both sides of it too, right? Because there is a side of it where I agree with you that there are times that people just will throw it out there because like, oh, that's what you're trying to do. But I do think it goes back into that Twitter side of it also, is that if something comes up from that maybe isn't like, look, everybody in their life has done something like stupid and whether throughout your life when you're a teenager or whatever it might be, and if someone then brings that up and then they at the moment don't have anything out there, but they start throwing rocks at that person on Twitter and then everyone starts piling up, that is a problem that it continues to happen. But going off your point, then there are people who really have done despicable shit that should be called out on it. But I think it's a balance because again, going back to social media has been a thing where people just pile up on somebody and call people names and say things like, why are you going after that person? Well, because he's going after him. Well,
exactly.
That happens.
Well, people don't look at things as, an individual situation, a case. We don't look at things in a case-by-case situation. We want a one-size-fit-all argument for everything, and it just doesn't work like that. And what I mean by consequence, I'm not talking about consequence as we're trying to get rid of somebody.
Sure.
What I'm saying, okay, so, to show you how open-minded I am about this, somebody does blackface back in the 90s, and all of a sudden it gets brought up now, and everybody's in an uproar, and now they want to get rid of that person. That person's a racist. I'm like, let's just stop and really look at this.
Right.
This was something that was, whether we like it or not, something that was probably a little more accepted back in the day. This is something where people didn't know how harmful it was.
Right.
There's a certain ignorance that probably went with it where these people didn't mean anything. So let's not try to persecute somebody. Let's actually try to be open-minded and see what this situation's like and the person's intentions and the time. Okay, so you got that. But then what I mean by consequence is, okay, you say something, and maybe you pissed a group of people off.
Right.
And that's the consequence.
100%.
And we don't, and all of a sudden everybody's like, well, that group should shut up. And it's like, well, should they?
That I agree with you, because it's like they have the right to get upset. They have the right to defend themselves. It doesn't mean that the person that they're going after their lives should be over, but they should have the consequence of answer for what you're saying here now. And it's also dependent on what the person is saying. Like Roseanne, right? Hey, I was on drugs. Well, don't fucking tweet on drugs. You know what I mean? It's like your shit. That's like that. There's certain things that, like you said, consequence on your action. If I go out there, yelling and screaming, like, look, I've talked about it many times. I've talked about it on your show. It took me a while to be open about it because as I mentioned to you, my brother passed away. Mm-hmm. I was an angry fuck, man, for like a year, really angry. I took it with me everywhere I went. I took it with me on the air. When I took it with me that one day, I should have not gone to work. I wasn't talking to anybody. I didn't see anybody. I just brought stuff. I can handle it. And they had that whole thing happen with Galaxy's Edge where I yelled on the fucking show about it, right? Yeah. And man, it's like that to a lot of people defined who I am to them. They never knew. Someone sees a clip of me, that's who I am. I'm the guy. Recently, I did a review and someone goes, "Are you still busting your ass as a Star Wars fan?" Doesn't even know who I am. But to him, to be fair to that person, though, that's what they saw. That's how they know. Yeah. But like that one particular moment, now the question I have to that person is, did that person ever have a bad day? Did that person ever have a bad day at work? Was that bad day at work ever filmed? Now I'm using myself as an example because that's a personal experience, but that's a lot of different things, a lot of different people. Good point, though. But you've had bad days, right? Think about with even arguments you've had with your wife, and it's like, right? And same with me. It's like, imagine any argument, like you've had a really blown out argument with your wife, and then you make up with your wife. But if that argument, any argument with your wife, who you love and everything too, gets out, someone was recording it. Yeah. One of you guys is going to be the bad guy in that. And it's an argument that many people have had over and over and over again. But, oh, wow, look at Korey. He's yelling at his wife. Yeah. He's mad. He's angry. You know what I mean? So it's like that's.
Well, you're definitely right about that. And when I say this, I'm not saying that, I'm a huge public figure or anything. Yeah. But when you are out in the public, you're out there making yourself exposed, that's another reason why I had to pull back on certain things because people will take it and they will take a small thing and they think, like you said, that defines you. They know everything about you now because of that one thing they saw. And I've learned that with celebrities too. It's like this whole Will Smith thing that happened. We were talking about this and we did a video and it sounded at first like we were making fun of them and I was like, nah, it's like this is crazy that this keeps coming out with them, but it's like, man, imagine just you're a person who's that big, of course, whatever you do is going to be examined closely. Yeah. And actually I have a lot of sympathy.
Yeah.
For people who constantly have their lives exposed.
Yeah, you don't know what that's the other thing is people. Well, that's what they asked for. I mean, not really.
No,
like that kind. And because a lot of these people went how the business has shifted and how things have changed and how much every bit of your life is out there and how much exposure people have to. Because even when back in the day when Will Smith was coming up, right? Same thing I was talking about earlier. He was on TV and he was in a movie and someone didn't like his movie. He didn't have to hear about it. Today they tweeted at him telling your movie sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
That kind of shit wasn't like that back then. Now, more people today they know that's part of it, but it doesn't mean you got to like it.
That's that. You know what? That is true too. That barrier between you and the public, it's been broken down, man. They can come at you personally now.
It's like January 6th.
Yeah, exactly, man. They're tearing your shit down.
They're bringing it down. Knock it right over.
Where Will at?
Where is he at? How'd you get here? His wife let me in. What?
It's more. They're not at your house. They're not looking at you eye to eye. But it is definitely more personal now.
Yeah, man.
More personal than any critic could have been. Do you remember when actors that was their biggest fear? What did the critic think?
Right.
And then even then they could say, well, I just don't look at that.
Right.
But now they don't have to worry about it. It's the fans themselves, the people that they thought supported them. They're letting them know.
Those are the ones that and they come in very hot a lot of the times too. I'm just I do want to. We're going to talk some Star Wars in here in just a minute. It's a stupid thing about running these things by myself, Korey, is that I have to clean stuff up in the middle of stuff because it starts to get all. Look at this. It's I think it looks better now, but. I'm figuring it out. I don't know how I did it, but I figured it out.
I think you're doing a great job,
man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look, here's the other thing that I want to tell you guys, and you guys already know this. And I don't know if Korey does, but I'm going to make sure that he does afterwards. Everybody should be shaving your ball bags. Shave your ball bags. It's not even an option anymore because you got MANSCAPED, which is the best. And this holiday season, I'm giving thanks to our friends over at MANSCAPED. What do? Do you tell your extended family that you have the Performance Package 4.0 from the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming? And not to mention, it includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer to tame your bush and score those brownie points with the in-laws. You got to gift yourself MANSCAPED or the man in your life who needs it the most. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust MANSCAPED. 20% off and free shipping with the code BIGTHING by going to manscaped.com. It is phenomenal. You ever try MANSCAPED, Korey?
I have not tried MANSCAPED, but I manscape, so I will try this.
I'm telling you this. So, look, hurting your nuts. It's the last thing in the world you ever want to do. We've been in that position. This is you remember that ship in Terminator
yes.
That light.
Yes.
This thing has the light, and it shows you everything you need to do.
I need this.
The nose trimmer. It is. I'm telling you, you will call me and you will thank me when you get this. I gave one to Ken Knapsack when he came here, and he never went back. Inside of this packages, you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and the nose hair trimmer, which I get addicted to. It's the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Think of it as a cornucopia for your balls. You can't forget the MANSCAPED liquid formulations. They're like the pumpkin pie and the ice cream after Thanksgiving dinner. You just can't live without it. The Crop Preserver ball deodorant and the Crop Reviver, the toner spray. Your balls will be living in turkey heaven with all these formulations. Look, gifting MANSCAPED, it's the ultimate hack to becoming the family favorite. It's been busy, MANSCAPED, and they just launched a refined body wash. I just got these things. Spent an extra 45 minutes in the shower. Now, body wash and 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner, both featuring the MANSCAPED signature scent, and it'll help unlock your confidence this year. Your boys and your body will be oh so fresh, and they're going to be clean when you start off your self-care routine with the ultimate body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. One more time, 20% off and free shipping with that code BIGTHING, manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping with the code BIGTHING, manscaped.com. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all from Manscaped. I promise you, your balls are going to thank you. I promise. You don't listen to me?
My balls are already thanking you.
You should. And this is what I say. This is my new statement. Stop being a fucking asshole and get yourself a manscaped.com.
Hey, is that one for my asshole too?
There might be. Don't get too excited with the nose trimmer. You can make sure it stays towards the nose, but who knows?
I know we don't want to go off on this, but I'm going to tell you, man.
Yes,
I'm so happy that MANSCAPED came out because even though I haven't used it yet, it made guys like me feel justified.
Yeah.
Because I was
You were always a trimmer.
Man, I was look at the show. You can go back to the show in 2016. I told people I go down there and I shave those balls all the time, man. And people are like, you do? Who does that? I was like, so when was this weird that we want to be clean down there?
Because they make it easy. The problem is that it's easy, and because anytime when you were back in the day, you take something near there, you're like, oh my God, am I gonna want to be some kind of crazy John Bobbitt story? You know, it's incredible the technology that they have. We've been with them for a while now, and every time they send stuff, I'm like, holy shit, it's Christmas. Like, try it out.
I definitely want to, and I'm gonna tell you, this is how I'm being honest with you. This is how you know I'm not lying. I nipped I nipped that nutsack many a times.
Not this way.
Like when people have their like little cuts on their face.
That's what
I
it
had
looks
little
like down
tissue
there.
paper on my balls because where I would cut, cut them, man. Yeah. So this is perfect.
You'll love it.
I'm gonna try it.
All right, let's talk some Star Wars, man. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I knew, and I've always wanted to talk to you about this.
Man.
I knew that you weren't crazy about how the direction of Star Wars is going.
The movies.
The movies, yes.
The movies.
I'm sorry, specifically the movies.
This is my biggest thing, and like I've said I know that people who are listening are getting tired of this, but I think this explains it the best. So Mandalorian to me is the best Star Wars material since Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
To me it goes as far as ranking stuff. It's Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, Mandalorian season 1 and 2, Return of the Jedi. Those are my favorites. And the reason why is what Jon Favreau said in the Gallery series that I think that we've been talking now, revisiting these movies. I kind of really going over this. What the new trilogy did was they essentially made very expensive fan films, and J.J. Abrams made what his version of what he thought Star Wars was. He did an homage to Star Wars, right? Rian Johnson did what he wanted to do as his Star Wars movie. He did his version of what he thought Star Wars was, his homage to Star Wars. J.J. did the same thing for the last one. Favreau and Filoni had no interest in doing an homage to Star Wars. They had an interest of doing a show that inspired, and they did an homage to what inspired Star Wars, the spaghetti western.
Yes.
Kurosawa.
Yes.
The stuff that made Star Wars, the original trilogy, that's the stuff, that's what I enjoy about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Deborah Chow's going to do that with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
We're getting a trailer for that Friday, right? So that's and she understands, she has the philosophy of it. So I think the direction is where they're going with the development of side of the characters. My biggest problem with the new trilogy was there was no plan.
I 100% agree with you on that. That's something that definitely showed how progressively these movies were just thrown together.
Yeah.
Sloppy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't and that's what I have to, that's one of the frustrating things. This is why fandom is so harmful to me, like just like almost religious level fandom, where when you criticize something, it comes down to, well, you just don't like it because it's not what you're used to.
Right. Or what you thought it was going to be.
Or what you thought it was going to be.
Right.
You're not a fan, and who cares? I mean, I'm not talking about this from a fan level. I'm talking about this from a pure filmmaking and storytelling level. This could be any movie. This could be any series. And if they made those same mistakes, I'll be criticizing them as much as I'm
100%.
criticizing this. What I really can't stand, and again, I'm saying this because if people, now it sounds like I'm just being a hypocrite as opposed to what I said earlier, but I'm just speaking personally.
Yeah.
Now, if you really like Star Wars, there's nothing I'm going to say to you. I'm going to be like, hey, you're enjoying it. That's great.
Yeah.
But I do have to ask, I have to really ask people sometimes. I say, hey, look, I just want you to be honest with me.
Yeah.
Are you liking this because you really are getting some sense of enjoyment from it, or are you liking this because your mind is telling you you're supposed to like this?
It's a fantastic question. And look, so I think that certainly was the case with maybe for Last Jedi for me, right? Because The Force Awakens, when it came in, I think there's a lot of pulled and rehashed moments from New Hope, no doubt, right? But I watched it recently. It's a fun film.
Yeah.
What bothers me about the film today is that I know what comes next after 8 and 9, but I know it doesn't go anywhere. I know that like when you saw it hopeful in 2015, your head starts to go into what's next, this hopeful thing of, oh, here's these things that they're setting up. Could it potentially lead to this, this, and this, and this? And of course it does come down to the fact that the expectations you had in your head isn't met. but the expectations weren't even put on paper to them. Like,
Yeah.
to me, what a really good hash out story is, okay, we're going to make these movies. Here's what's going to happen in 2015. And we need to get to this point by 2019. This is where we want to try to get to. We start with our hero here and we're going to end with her here.
Yeah.
And not, well, that's going to happen here. We'll figure it out. Like, we're going to figure it out in Mandalorian. They know where they're going to go.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of television also. Like when it was coming out for Rise of Skywalker, I had already said at that point, I'm much more looking forward to this Mandalorian show than I was Rise of Skywalker. And everybody's like, you're crazy. You'd rather see a TV show on Star Wars than Episode 9 before streaming really started to take off. I'm like, yeah, because you're going to have the money they're going to put into it on Disney Plus. First of all, it's going to look like a big movie.
Yeah.
Second of all, I get whatever it is, 10 episodes. And the other problem is going off this kind of clash of fandom, right? When you put a movie out in let's say we used Last Jedi, 2017, and everyone hates it, they're sitting in that stink of hate for 2 years before, and that's 2 years to marinate, as opposed to 1 week of an episode.
Yeah.
You hate an episode of TV? Oh, I didn't like that one. That was terrible.
Wow, that's a great point.
You know what I mean? Next week, it's gone. It's washed over. If it delivers, if it's like Dexter is coming out now again, right? Like Dexter, the last season was shit, and every episode was getting bad, and you're like, oh, and that's how TV starts to fail. Is every episode starts to be bad.
Yeah.
Then you're sitting in it every week. But if you can course correct, then you're in good shape.
No, that is another great point, man. I didn't even think about that. It's all about timing.
Yeah.
You know, when you have more time to sit back and think about something, the more you have time to stew over it and have your hate grow. But yeah, man, I think that it was just bad business in a way. I mean, they obviously made their money, but I think it's bad business in the sense that, you know, you're causing like some real fans to lose faith in those movies.
Right.
And I don't understand how, and this is why I think it's bad business for Disney, because I don't understand how you can have the model of how to do these things. You got Marvel over there.
Right.
And you see the blueprint of what Marvel's doing. And everybody thinks I'm a Marvel fanboy. I'm a fan of their business model.
I understand what you're saying, and I think I mean I don't have an answer for sure, but I have a response to it where Kevin Feige, this is where I always say that Kevin Feige is the main producer, but he's also a massive fan of the property, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you that Kathleen Kennedy doesn't like Star Wars, but she's not a massive fan of the property.
No, she's not.
She's not someone who is going to tell you things about the Mandalorian culture. Kevin Feige will tell you where Thanos came from and all those types of things. He can talk about that stuff. Does that mean that Kathleen Kennedy shouldn't have her job? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means that she's a great producer, and what she has shown, and this is why I think it's also very, people contradict themselves all the time saying how you have to, if you're going to give her shit for the decisions she made in filming, which is fair because she's had a lot of bad decisions on her watch in the filmmaking, you have to give her credit for Mandalorian. And people are like, well, that's all Favreau and Filoni. Who put them in the position? Who got them what they needed? That's what a good producer does, is they say, this is, okay, what's the creative vision that you see? I don't understand it, but I trust you.
Yeah.
What do you need from me on my end? Okay, here's the studio, here's this, here's that. You want directors? I'll make some calls. They produce. They get things done. They make it happen. That's what she did very well in Mandalorian. And that's why I actually kind of pushed back a little bit on the fact of like, yeah, the movies, they caused a big divide. But they're course correcting with these shows.
They definitely are.
Yeah.
I mean, the shows are great. Disney Plus has been a great place for all kinds of storytelling. Now, I see Kathleen Kennedy as someone like an Amy Pascal at Sony. You know, it's like I know you have respect for these properties, but how much of a fan are you?
Right.
And obviously, you are great at your job because you put together some amazing things. I'm not a fan to the point where like you mess up one thing that I love, and all of a sudden I'm going to hate you. You're a horrible person. It's like no, you know that's their job is to put these things together. They slip up every now and then. Only thing with Disney is that, okay, you know, she did it with these shows. Why not apply that with these movies? Why not find, maybe there was nobody around that you could think of, but why not?
Filoni should have been the same type of guy, or Favreau.
John Favreau and Dave Filoni should have been the ones looking at over the movies as well as the shows.
And she was, and she had her hand too much in the cookie pot as far as that, and as far as the movies went, because I think she was too involved creatively inside of it, and I think that's why she stepped back on it. The other reason why I think movies are, for Star Wars specifically, Marvel has these angles where they're able to put it, and they treat it like a television show.
Yeah.
The movies themselves. They have this. Star Wars hasn't done that in the past. Star Wars, and the other thing is when you look at a movie like The Last Jedi, which the main arguments that people hated so much is the Luke Skywalker stuff, right? And how they thought Luke was going to be in this. There's too much attachment emotionally to it, the characters, right? This Rogue Squadron movie that they got coming out with Patty Jenkins, it's a great one-off movie to do. You're probably not going to know who the hell's in it. You're going to learn new characters about it. No one's going to say, well, that's not the way so-and-so should be, because you shouldn't even know who so-and-so is. It should be brand new characters. It's a one-off film. That's how Star Wars should approach. Or the other thing that I really want to see them do a full series. Like, let's say Mandalorian. Let's say Mandalorian is season 4, and then it ends in, it's going to end in December, and then the season finale is a 2-hour movie that comes out in theaters.
You know what? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, why don't she hire you? Kathleen Kennedy, call this man over here.
Yeah, once I screamed about their theme park, they don't want me anymore.
Well, that's where they failed, man. They should have sent you that theme park. They could have had some discussions with you.
No, it was the whole thing. They're just sort of just like, yeah, no, we're gonna stay away from that guy.
Well, now that they didn't invite you to that theme park, that's where they messed up, man. Now they would never have you.
That's right.
You know what, man? This is something I want to ask you then, because this is where I get into, like, even with people who agree with me the most on Star Wars. This is where I kind of have. This is where we start to disagree. So, I'm kind of getting tired of the fan service. I'm getting tired of the cameos. I'm getting tired of the same places. You know, when we have to go to Tatooine and we actually, hey, let's stop and sit in Han Solo's booth real quick. You know,
right?
I'm that kind of stuff is really kind of getting to me. I'm really just begging for one self-contained story where there's no other characters coming in, and we don't have to like play these Easter egg games anymore.
So I don't mind the Easter eggs, but I want them to serve the story. I don't agree with people when they say certain things make it smaller, right? Like I pushed back tremendously on people when they said that putting Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian made the universe smaller. I don't know if I ever disagree with anybody more when they say that, because they've set it up for you in the story already where that happens and what time period that has, because The Mandalorian itself is an original story. This guy is brand new. You never saw him before. But because Luke is in there, everyone thinks, oh, it's got smaller. It doesn't get smaller, because at that point, what they set up was that there's one Jedi with this Grogu kid. There's one Jedi out there that could call out to him. Who did they set up at that point that would be running around? Who's the strongest Jedi at the time? It would be Luke.
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense, and I do accept it on those terms. I think also, but I am one of those people that thought, like, man, wow, Luke Skywalker. It's cool. I didn't hate it.
But it makes sense.
No, it makes sense, but I also think they by design, they said from the beginning, we're gonna make this to where we pay fan service these people for Luke Skywalker.
I don't think Filoni does that, dude. I think Filoni, for him, knows that when he's sitting around and they had the conversation of like, who would pick up on this kid at this point in time? This is 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Luke is the strongest in the Force he's ever been at that point. He's looking around for Jedi relics and shit at this point.
Yes. It makes complete sense.
So we would go there. Now, like, there are certain times when things show up and they just put people in things to put them into it, and it's like, like, I didn't think Han Solo should have been a movie. The Solo movie, to me, that was a fan service movie. It's like, oh, he's a popular character. Let's bank off of his name. And the movie is fine, but it was unnecessary, right? But
100% agree.
Yeah, like Boba Fett.
I liked it.
Yeah, but I don't mind Boba Fett in this show, because the way that they set Boba Fett as far as how he worked himself into it in regards to getting the mask, the stuff that they set up the thing in a book, which how his mask was found by Timothy Oliphant and all that. So the way that they played it in, because I didn't want a Boba Fett series. I didn't want a Boba Fett movie. I don't want any of that shit because of what you're saying. The same reason I felt for Solo. We don't need it.
Yeah.
But I thought they set it up well enough to, if it makes sense inside of the story itself, introduced inside of an original concept, which The Mandalorian is, then you got me if it makes sense.
Okay, that's why I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Because it does make sense. I see what they were doing. They took their time to set it up.
Right.
I guess I'm coming at it from the angle of, from the beginning. Can we just, I'm just pining for a story where we don't have to bring in any other cameos, reference anything from Star Wars. Who knows? Maybe the universe is this tight.
I think Acolyte is going to do that for you, though.
You think?
Do you know anything about it?
I was just about to ask, what is that?
So the Acolyte is for. I don't have. I mean, you probably get more detail when it comes out when they talk about it on Friday. But it takes place before Phantom Menace. I think like 100, 200 years beforehand. But it's based off of. It seems like it's going to be the Sith, like the lead up, because the Sith are hiding in the shadows at this point. So it's going to lead into the dark side.
Yeah.
So you're most likely going to get the philosophy and the religion of the Sith, but they're in the shadows. Because remember, by Phantom Menace, they're saying, "Alas, we can reveal ourselves to the Jedi." So they're messing with people during this time. So I think that, because at 200 years beforehand, you're not going to get. I mean, you might get the reference of a Darth Plagueis, who was referenced in Revenge of the Sith, because that was Darth Sidious' master. But you're not going to get into these other characters because it's like 200 years before. I want to see them do the Old Republic, which is like a
lot of people are on there.
Right,
yeah,
right. So that's the one that could be like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I don't mind cameos when they work. Like, I don't mind them.
I don't mind if they work. I just don't want to see them anymore for at least for two things. Just one or two projects.
Yeah.
Can we just do something that's just totally detached? Because I've seen these characters over and over and over again. Or maybe I just need to just get used to it, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, what about Ahsoka though? Did you watch the animated series?
No, I did not. No, I just started getting into it because of what they did with Mandalorian.
Right.
But
that's the point. That's the point, is that you didn't, because of what they did by putting her in there, to the people who watched Clone Wars and Rebels, to them it's, there's a character I'm familiar with, which is what you're saying. I wish I would put someone else in there. But because of that, you now got interested in it, and now you're watching it.
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, if you do it well,
right,
I'll watch it. I'm not gonna ignore it or hate on it if it's done right or if it's done well. But again, it's just the desire there.
I understand that. Yeah.
And now, because now we getting, the Ahsoka show, and now we got what's his name coming in, Hayden Christensen, and okay, so this is where you really gonna hate me now, because I hate those prequels so much that I hate anything that's attached to them.
Yeah, at all. So for a long time, I felt the same. Ken Knapsack used to always tell me how he rediscovered and found a new love for it. I never understood it. I recently. Whether it's the light side or maybe to you it's the dark side, I have actually found myself in really enjoying the prequels now, because I have children, right?
Yeah, okay.
And I think there was something about when I saw The Phantom Menace. My daughter now is 10, but she was around like 8 when we watched it again together. And I saw her eyes when she was watching it, and I said, That's what he was going for here. He's not making, like, the original trilogy, even though it's got things for kids in it and kids fell in love with it, kids and adults can still enjoy it. This movie is geared towards kids. It really was geared towards kids, and it plays like an episode of the Clone Wars series to me. And I found myself really enjoying it, because when you dissect it, the story itself of the prequels, really good. Dialogue's atrocious. No doubt. Some of the filmmaking is real bad, and it's hard to get past. And there's some moments in there you're just like, come on, man. I won't disagree with any of it. But there's something about it that plays to me now for some reason.
I guess you set up this prequel for this great trilogy. This great trilogy that appealed to everybody.
Yeah.
But then you make it this children's film where everything again has to be connected,
right?
And it's such a children's film that is just written terribly. Like
I don't disagree.
I cannot watch. And this kid, I know he's caught enough hell, man.
Jake Lloyd,
yeah, man. I know. He's terrible in that first movie. That
look,
character. It's not because I don't even think it's because he's a.
I'm not going to blame
him.
George Lucas is not a good director with actors. He's just not.
And I think that kid was directed so bad, and he caught so much hate because he was just made to look bad. I can't get over that he wrote this so badly that Darth Vader built the C-3PO.
I hate that. I mentioned another thing. I think that goes back to your previous point. There's a lot of stuff in the prequel that I believe made it smaller, right? R2-D2 and C-3PO, like, they shouldn't have been in there. Why if they erase C-3PO's memory, why don't they erase R2? And if they do, if they don't, why isn't R2 telling Luke, hey, I know who Yoda is? Yeah. Like, so there's a lot of stuff they didn't try to pay attention to. That there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm not going to argue with you that doesn't make sense.
But you know what the funny thing is? You have children.
Yeah.
And I think when people have children and they see things through their children's eyes, their children are happy.
Yes.
You know, all of a sudden your child's happiness means the world to you, so you're going to have
exactly
a different
what
side.
it is.
I ain't got no kids.
Right.
No. You know, now maybe one day I'll have a kid and I'll watch this with them. I'm like, you know what, as long as they're happy.
And it very well could be because you're what you're looking at it through the eyes of someone who liked the original trilogy and in your head wanted to see at least somewhat similar of a tone, and that ain't there. It's a very different thing. It loops back in. It's got its own feel, its own look, and I've kind of accepted that as far as what it is now and how it works out. But Hayden Christensen, as we started this conversation, very similar to Jake Lloyd. People hated his ass, like mopey, this, that. Now he's beloved. He goes to, and I think the sequel trilogy had a lot to do with that too. But he goes to these conventions. They cheer him. He's coming back for both series.
Yeah, and
I'm actually all for it. Right.
Well, I think that guy's a great actor, by the way.
He's good. He was just directed poorly again.
He was directed poorly, and he was attached to such an iconic character that man, that's gonna follow you.
Yeah, it is.
It drove Jake Lloyd crazy, but Hayden Christensen, and I defend Hayden Christensen because I know you've seen this movie. You've seen Shattered Glass, right?
Yeah.
I keep telling people this guy is a great actor, man.
He's gonna do Deborah Chow. He is. So when the Obi-Wan movie was announced, before it became a series, I said Vader's got to be in this thing, and people. Very similar to what you were saying before. I was like, why do you need Vader in it? It doesn't make sense. It's like, it makes all the sense in the world because of Return of the Jedi. And again, people are tired of me saying this, but like, there's that scene in Return of the Jedi when Luke, when Luke turns himself in, and Vader says, and Luke says, I know that there's still good in you. And Vader says, Obi-Wan once thought as you did.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that yet. When did we see that? Because in Revenge of the Sith, he's just letting his friend burn. And then he steals his lightsaber, and it's all he does. He's just like, okay, you're burning lightsaber because it's Padme who says to him, "There's still good in him."
Yeah, and
that sits with him. So if it sits with him, and then he's got to try to confront his friend again. That's what I think this series is going to be about, and that's why Hayden Christensen is in it. It's going to be that final battle of them getting into it. Of there is still light, and then he realizes he's more machine now than man.
And I tell you this, man, I looking at this done with different directors.
Yeah.
And look at this done with the potential to be done in a better format.
Yeah.
See, now I'm open to that.
Yeah.
I might be tired of seeing these characters, but if they can tell these stories and show different sides of them, or like you said, if they make sense, I'm open to it. Yeah. See, the difference is I'm not arguing against bringing these things in. Bring them in as many times as you can if you can create great stories and execute it right. But at the same time, I'm just asking for something like, if we can just steer off this path and just see some other parts of this universe with characters that I
understand that.
So we can actually feel like this is a galaxy.
Yeah, I agree with you. And something else that you guys, I've been telling you about it, Shudder. You guys, Shudder is and has been around for a while. And you know I've been talking about it. Because what is better on a chilly fall night than curling up in front of the TV for a great scary movie? And I'm going to talk to Korey in just a little bit about Halloween Kills. Just a second. Because nobody has a better collection of horror, thriller, and the supernatural than Shudder, which is the best streaming service for horror. Shudder is the exclusive home for found footage. The found footage hit VHS 94, which is the Shudder original. You binge the last season of Creepshow and Slasher, both exclusively on Shudder. You can catch new episodes of the drag competition show, The Billette Brothers Dragula, and new docuseries Behind the Monsters on the origins and pop culture dominance of your favorite modern movie monsters. So this is some of the stuff that they have. They got Creepshow Season 3. They have Elvira's 40th anniversary, very scary, very special. They have Seance. You can stream all this stuff, the great thrillers, the horror, the suspense for $5.99 a month or just $56.99 for the year. Shudder has the largest, fastest-growing curated section of thrilling and dangerous entertainment. It is the Netflix for horror. There's supernatural terrors, edge-of-your-seat thrillers, and shocking horrors added every week. No matter where you want to stream it, whether it's iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, Xbox One, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Android services, you can do it on Shudder. So the way that you do it, and the way you get Shudder, if you haven't already checked out Shudder, I've mentioned to you guys the Creepshow thing. I was a big fan of Creepshow growing up, and they have their own original series. And I've recommended this service by Clark Wolf and William Bibiani, who are just our horror experts. It's incredible. If you guys want to try Shudder for free for 30 days, you go to Shudder.com, use the promo code BIGTHING, SHUDDER. Go check it out. Once again, 30 days free for Shudder. Are you a big horror guy, Korey?
I am, man. I
Okay.
like horror. I love horror. You know, I found myself being more selective of horror today. We actually will do some work with Shudder also. I actually love Shudder.
Shudder's great.
I'm one of my favorite movies is Creepshow.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Having the series there, that's very cool for me.
Yeah, it's great. So the Halloween Kills, I feel like I heard something that you guys discussed Halloween Kills with you. Is this the one where Martin liked it and you? I thought this was one of the worst movies I've seen in the last 5 years.
No, I don't think either one of us.
It's terrible.
There were certain things that I admired about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was a drastic fall for me from that first movie.
I love the 2018 version, right? So because the first movie, what I wanted him to do was obviously the first one is a classic, and then 2018 they take a lot of what people loved about the first movie, and they continue it on. They say we're going to go away from this whole ridiculous slasher film thing. We're going to give you more of that Hitchcock one-shot thing. And then they go right back to it in this, and they turn him into Jason. He's mushing people's eyes out, and it's like, it was garbage.
The people in that, and this is a common
They're morons.
complaint that people have heard me say, and I'm going to keep saying it, these people are fucking idiots.
They're morons.
Yeah.
These are the stupidest people I've ever seen in movies. And they're running after this guy. And this is a spoiler for whoever hasn't seen this, so tough shit. The fucking one guy's like, hey, and they go, hey, that's Michael Myers. I go, that's not Michael Myers. And then they're chasing him up the stairs, and they can't catch this guy. And then they're like, evil dies tonight.
It's the dumbest slogan.
It's the stupidest movie I've seen in a long time. And how it has like a 36% is that's such a generous score. It's such a dumb movie.
Yeah, man. I didn't give it like on my scale. I didn't give it some bullshit, but I said, man, this is not good.
It's not good.
And I knew that there were people who were going to be like, you know, again, it's a Star Wars thing. It's a fandom thing. People don't like it no matter what. You know, I get arguments like, well, because I say these people, the biggest thing that really bothered me is how dumb these people are and how much, you know, Michael Myers, as you said, he's becoming a supernatural thing now, which is not the point. But, you know, I said, but the people are really bothering me in this. Yeah. When you have a guy, two guys, their house they're in Michael Myers' house on Halloween. Their house gets broken into, and they hear that somebody went upstairs. Now I don't care if it's Michael Myers' house. I don't care if it's not Halloween. If somebody broke into your house,
get out.
You got the front and back door wide open. You got two options. Yeah, get out and call the police. A dude's gonna get this wine and this cheese knife, this little fingernail clipper, and go upstairs. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I'm like, you deserve what you get. And then his partner, the other guy, this is where I said, fuck you, film. It's like when the guy he's standing there. Michael Myers at the window. He knows his partner just died, and he looks and he says Michael's name. Yeah, Michael. Yeah. What? And then Michael turns around. The guy he's got the door wide open, the steps open. He can run because Michael don't run. Right. You know, Michael always RoboCop walks. You know, he's just cool. Michael don't even jog. So, but when this guy has a clear open to leave. Yeah. Michael turns around and just as slow starts walking to him, and the guy's like,
it's so dumb. It's like so, dude. And the other thing is, they notice that he's on television, killing all. Michael Myers running around. Where's the fucking army? Bring the army out.
Exactly. Where are the police? Where's the National Guard? Where they always show up after everything is done. I don't even think showed up here.
Nowhere. And it's like you got one of the Griswolds with a baseball bat going after him. It's like what are you doing? Like where's the president?
But people say
send the jet.
You're nitpicking. See, that's another thing. Like with words like woke, cancel culture, all that. When somebody doesn't like what you're saying, they just throw out something to contradict, and they say, "Oh, you're nitpicking." So I shouldn't try to make sense out of anything just because you want to like this movie.
This is why I don't pay attention to when people say that. It's like I just that one I'll ignore or agree to disagree and move on because this is a fucking stupid movie. Like I was watching this because my wife is a big she's not a horror fan, but to her Halloween is nostalgic. She used to watch it with her sister. So we watched the 2018 one. She loved it. She's like, I want to watch the new one. I'm like, all right, great, let's watch it. And we were like, is it me or is this like the dumbest movie that has ever come out? Like these are dumb people. Like, and then he just put. And I know this was the pushback that people got. I said, Jamie Lee Curtis is in the movie This is my favorite argument, actually, by people who are defending this movie. I said, Jamie Lee Curtis is in the hospital the entire movie. And they're like, well, it's the same night. She would be. I'm like, you don't answer me with logic in this movie when you got this guy running around killing all these firemen, and then he gets shot, he gets his head smashed in, he gets up, and he's supernatural. She should be able to heal quick and go, well, but it's different because he's supernatural. I hated when they went into supernatural stuff with him in the other 27 movies they did of Michael Myers, and now they went back to this. They're making the third one. I hope that they
course correct,
100% course correct. Go back to what made the 2018 one special and attach it, and get away from this stupid shit that they would for this one, because this one was terrible.
I agree with you. That was a big mistake.
Yeah.
You know, thing about Michael Myers is Michael Myers, he was he was always better than the average killer.
Right.
But that was the allure of him. Is like he's so good that he can elude all these things and get away with them. But and he's so evil that he can do that. But that's what made him scary, is that he felt real. You know, he was somebody, whether it was he was efficient, or he was lucky, or he was just insane and thought on a different level. But he always felt grounded, and to me that made him more appealing.
Yes, and he was scary because he would pop out of the shadows. He wouldn't just bash people's heads in. That's what Jason did. Like, he would be, and because of Carpenter, they talked about this thing where he like. The first one, I think the most blood you see is like on a knife. It's not a bloody movie.
No, it's
like,
not.
It doesn't
4 kills,
but it doesn't need to be. It's the matter of how it's shot with the music and all that. That's what I thought. 2018 had the teeth thing that happened. There was a couple of them. This was over. Or, pun intended, is overkill. It was overkill.
No, definitely was.
Yeah.
And I asked somebody. I said, man, I what is it that makes you overlook these dumb people? And it's like, well, I look at this because people in the world are just stupid. And I said, that is such an overgeneralized statement. And you're just excusing bad writing.
Right.
That's lazy writing.
Really bad writing.
And this is the thing that makes me kind of get upset with horror. It's the same thing with any kind of fandom. You know, horror fans are so quick to defend things when they're obviously poorly written or poorly executed.
Right.
And I keep trying to say to people, my opinion is that it's okay to defend things, but when it gets to a point where I think you're doing yourself a disservice, because when you allow sloppy writing or poor execution of things, then you're giving them a pass to just continue to do that.
Right. Well, but I also think that it's something that could go back to your Beatles statement beforehand too, right? It could be someone saying, like, I'm okay, like someone who says, my friend wrote me, he's like, it's stupid as shit, but I loved it. I said, fair.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's the argument around like trying to make excuses for it. You're like, I'm not with you here.
I love that. If you can just be honest with me.
Yeah, it's stupid as shit. I think it's dumb as hell, but I love it. I think there's a lot of movies that I love the 1980 Flash Gordon. It's a terrible movie.
I love that movie too.
It's a terrible movie, but it's great. It's great. It's fun. I watched but it's not going to. If there's a lot of people that if you tried to show them that movie now, they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Like it's like with the whole football scene when they're playing Ming's thing, and it's. But you and I grew up on it though, so you probably saw it when you were a kid, right?
I saw that in the theater, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is that for us, we have this kind of nostalgia thing to it, but like. I'm not going to try to convince anybody that that's like classic cinema.
Well, can I tell you a big difference between something like Flash Gordon and Halloween Kills and even Star Wars, anything else like that? They knew what they were doing. The expectations they set up were clear. They're like they were camp coming out.
Yeah,
they meant to just have fun. At that time they were thinking this is a comic book movie.
Yeah,
we're just being goofy. They knew they were self-aware of being goofy. Things like Halloween Kills, they have higher aspirations, and they set that up in the first movie.
It did, and that's what I thought we were getting. I thought that they were just approaching it so different. But all right, but before we let you go,
sir.
I do want to tell people one more thing, and then we should talk about the anticipated movies for the end of the year because I want to hear about your take. I'm going to guess on what I think your most anticipated is for the rest of the year. I'm going to guess.
Okay.
All right, but before we do that, my last thing here to tell you guys about that I'm pretty pumped about that I've told you about beforehand. I'm going to tell you again, and that's FITBOD. You guys in shape? You Getting in shape. Not everybody can be as in shape as Korey. I mean, this guy he walked in. I was intimidated. I'm not going to lie with you.
It's the jacket.
It's the jacket. That's all it is. Well, if you guys want to just not need a jacket in order to do it, everybody knows that if you do the same exercises over and over again, you lose sight of your progress and it kills your overall motivation. Don't get stuck doing the same workouts, ladies and gentlemen. Make progress towards the future and what you want to become. And in order to do that, you got to overcome new challenges. FITBOD creates a fitness program that continually adapts with new exercises and dynamic intensity that adjust to how you're progressing. So you'll be challenged to meet your goals at your own pace. Perfection is an illusion, but there's always a higher level to strive for that looks different for everyone, especially when it comes to fitness. There is no perfect body that everyone can achieve, but what we can do is continually become a better version of ourselves. So I have a lot of favorite features of this particular app. What's so good about it is that it can pick workouts that is tailored to the equipment that you have and the goals that you want to achieve. The app has very clear, easy instructions on how to follow them. I like how it balances muscle groups, so you will be fully recovered for your next workout. I've continued. As the pandemic was starting, I was eating a lot. I was looking like Jabba the Hutt. But now I'm feeling stronger, faster, and that's all thanks to this personal training from FITBOD. I normally get bored of workout routines, after a week or two. But FITBOD, it keeps it going fresh. FITBOD has helped me work out every muscle group without overworking any of them. FITBOD understands, and they create a good program based on your unique body, your experience, and your environment. If you don't have any equipment, don't worry about it. FITBOD has body weight routines for those looking to get fit or home on the go. It's super easy to use, and it even has HD video tutorials to make learning new exercises just a breeze. It integrates with other fitness and health apps like Apple Health, Fitbit, and Strava. It's personalized training, and that can be tough, especially on the budget. So FITBOD's only $9.99 a month. That's $59.99 a year. Sign up now and you'll get 25% off your membership. Pick up the pace on your fitness journey with FITBOD today, and your future self will thank you. That's 25% off your membership at fitbod.me/SENLive. That is 25% off at fitbod.me/SENLive. All right, so here we go.
Real quick, though, man, you must keep your daughter away from this room, man, because there's so much cool stuff
There's
in here.
cool stuff in here, too.
Yeah.
She always wants to play the game. She always wants to play the.
So you
Star
do
Wars
let her
game.
in here.
I do, yeah. But I gotta. Well, what I let her do now, what she's been, because she gets addicted to the iPad. And I don't want her on that shit.
Yeah.
So instead, I let her get addicted to the Xbox. She comes on Saturdays, and I give her. She loves Sims. She plays Sims.
Okay, so that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's great.
I feel like if I had a kid, I'd tell them, "Don't you ever come in here."
I know. Well,
I would be so overprotective.
Well, that's what I
stuff.
did when she came in. She played Xbox. She left her French toast in here. I said, "Next time, you leave your fucking French toast in here." It's bullshit.
I love this Chucky, man.
Isn't he great?
Yeah, well, you sent that? That's amazing.
Yeah, they sent. So they have the new series coming out. So they sent the new doll, because I had that mask that Universal sent me back in the day, but it's not as great as that. I mean, that's pretty intimidating. I put it there for the people who are really scared of horror movies, and I let them sit right next to it. And it's always fun to get their reaction to it.
Oh, if you don't want your girl leaving French toast in here, just
given that,
tell her Chucky's gonna kill you if you
yeah.
don't. If you, yeah, look at this, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
Good guy, dog.
All right, so I have my prediction where I feel like Matrix is going to be one that you're really excited for, but I think No Way Home is the one you're really looking forward to the most.
You know what? Okay, you're right. You're exactly right. Wow, you nailed me, man. No Way Home. Spiderman. That's the one. That is. I'm silly excited for that.
Does it make you nervous though? Do you think this because Spider-Man 3, the Raimi version, and Spider-Man 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, had the same idea that this one has, and that's put a lot of shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make you nervous a little bit?
It makes me extremely nervous.
Yeah.
Now that, especially since Venom's already made the connection, and
Right.
Mobius is saying, all right, Sony's making me nervous with this whole thing.
Right.
I finally feel like Marvel, as strong as they are, they're being strong-armed by somebody else who has just a little more leverage because of one thing.
Is it character?
Yeah, because of the character. So I don't know how much of this is Kevin Feige actually saying, we had this idea the whole time, this will be amazing, or this is Sony saying, all right, no, you're going to do this.
See, it's weird because I think that I almost feel like the opposite because of where the deal had to be made of what they needed to do, and they know that they had this whole thing where Loki were doing these multiverses and how it's all playing out, and they connected to this because Coy Jandreau, who's on the show, I don't know if you ever met Coy, but Coy, he's like, his knowledge in comic book movies are just, it's insane what he knows about certain shit. He needs to play baseball. But he was talking about, his idea is that because it's No Way Home, that this is because the rumor is that they're bringing in Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in this, that this is going to start Sony being able to make more Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, more Andrew Garfield movies, and still make it in the same platform, and you can even put these guys in their own movies because you're setting it up that way, and it's allowing Sony to continue on in their verse, but they still get Tom Holland in an extra guest appearance inside of MCU if you need him. So I don't know how either way, however it came down, but it's very intriguing to me if they do it. Like what we've been talking about, the theme of this whole show is execution and how it could play out, and then leading into the multiverse of madness.
Multiverse of madness.
Is that what it's called? The Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Right. So how that all pans. This is like the first movie in that kind of two-parter, right?
Yeah. No, I'm the potential for what they can do is exciting. Yeah. So I'm just sometimes, man. Look, I've learned to be precautiously, optimistic about things. So I know that going into this, there's a lot of things that they've set up where this could bring this movie down. Like again, too many things happening, and that's making me a little nervous. But I don't know, man. I just love what they've done so far with that character.
Me too. I'm excited about it, and I was excited to have you here, man. This is a blast.
Thank you, man. So what's the movie you're looking forward to the most?
It's hard for me because it was Many Saints in Newark, actually. If you see Tony Soprano back there.
Oh, that. I don't have my glasses on. I was wondering who the hell that was.
He's over there too.
Oh. Hey.
Yeah, it's the multiverse. It was, and then now they're doing actually a mini series for it. That kind of. But right now the reason why it was easy for me to predict those because those are mine too, right? Matrix and Spider-Man are the two. But I don't know which one I'm looking forward to more. I am excited, I think, because we've been doing all these rewatches of Spider-Man, that I think that had I not done the rewatches, it would have been an easy choice with Matrix. But I'm very curious on how it's all going to tie in. I'm very curious to see how they're going to use Garfield and Willem Dafoe and all that, and how they're going to make it work. Is it just going to be like kind of like a throwaway cameo, or is it actually going to be storyline? Is it going to lead to new movies? So that part of it is exciting because it does create new movies. But there's something about Matrix where we're talking about course correcting. Like the first movie is one of the best movies of all time, and the 2 and 3 are just kind of If they can reboot that entire thing and get me excited about the Matrix again, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Matrix for me. I'm more curious than excited.
Yeah,
because I didn't like the last 2 movies.
No, they weren't good. No, the second one to me, if the third one was great, then the second one would have become better because they set up so much in the second one that I was like, oh, but then once the third one's just kind of, throws away. Like similar to the new trilogy in Star Wars.
Exactly what you were saying. Yeah. Now that I know what's happening or what happened,
who knows?
We'll see what happens next.
Tell us where you got your tour, and so at this point, your next show is going to be in Chicago. So where can people find your tickets? Where can they find your show? Twitch, obviously, it's just a Double Toasted show on Twitch.
Yeah, if you look up Double Toasted and go to Twitch, Double Toasted is sometimes it's one word, sometimes two. I should really settle that out, but I think it's one word. If you type in Double Toasted, you'll find us. Our next show is going to be in Chicago on November 18th.
Where is that?
You know what? Go to X1 Entertainment.
And that's where they have it?
X1entertainment.com, and it's all listed there.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, while you're closing out, though, I'm going to look and see where, because I'm kind of curious now.
Let me know for sure, and you guys should definitely check them out. As I mentioned, if you're familiar with the movie Trivia Schmodown, both Lady Justice Marisol McKee and Adam Collins, they just went to the show, and they were raving about the show. And if you watch Double Toasted, well, you should be watching it. If you do watch it, they're bringing their sense of humor and the opinions. Obviously, you just heard from Korey here. They're bringing that to the live stage, and you guys should go check them out.
Oh, and I really appreciate your friends showing up and enjoying it, man. And on November 18th, we're going to be at the Chop Shop.
Okay.
In Chicago. And by this point, everybody would have seen us at Miracle Theater here in Los Angeles. I hope they had a good time and enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, right. So we're talking from the future here. So.
If I'm dead, then I'm speaking to you from the grave right now.
Don't jinx it.
Live from hell.
This would be hell.
No, this right here has been heaven for me,
Thanks,
man.
man.
This has been great, and I'm honored that you had me on.
We got to do it again next time you come in town when you're in here for LA. Anytime you're on, we'll always have you on for sure.
Well, Kristian, you know, if you come to come to Austin,
yeah. We'll be in that area.
You have a place to stay always.
Thanks,
Whatever, man.
I would love to. I love being on your show. I think I love just laughing with you and Martin. So anytime for sure. And then hopefully we will lock up when we're there in February as well.
Yeah, for sure, man.
We'll
yeah, we're gonna be in Dallas on February 18th, and
okay.
would love to. See you.
What day is that? Is that a Friday?
I think that's Friday.
That's good because we'll probably be in Dallas on the 19th, so that'd be perfect.
Oh, nice.
Be perfect.
Excellent, man. Yeah, we'll make it happen one way or another.
All right, brother. So check him out. Go and check out Double Toasted, everybody. Thank you guys for checking out The Big Thing. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, please, or Spotify. That is one of the main things here, too. If you see the great sponsors that we have today, it's because you guys, we don't do donations. We don't do the whole Super Chats and Streamlabs and all that stuff. This is just going after those great sponsors that we believe in, and you guys have been helping us do that. So, once again, thank you to Korey. Thank you to you guys, and we'll see you on Friday. A lot going on Friday. Got the Obi-Wan trailer coming out. We're going to do all that stuff. Sith Council's just going to be breaking down what we see on the Star Wars side of things. That's it, man. Peace out. Shave your balls.